in this video tutorial we're going to look at how you add text to your flip chart and how you then work with that text rather, so how you change the font or spell check, and we'll look at a couple of other areas as well, such as the handwriting recognition tool, as well as the on-screen keyboard. So first thing to do is give ourselves a little bit of space and get rid of the text that's already on there. To add text, you need to click on the text icon, which is this big letter T on your toolbox. So we click that. We then have various options along the top menu bar here. So we've got the font, Comic Sans at the moment, font size 24. We can have bold or italic or underlined. We can have superscript and subscript. This is important, this one here, because we can change the text colour. We might just want it as black text. So when you then click anywhere on the flip chart, you can start to add your text. If you click somewhere else, you'll get this. It always comes up saying type here, and as soon as you type it overwrites that. Click somewhere else again. And you notice that the box expands as you type. You can shrink that box down to make things go onto separate lines. We can expand it out as you need to. Now, if you want to come back to the text, so for example, you've gone somewhere else, done something else, if you want to come back to it, then you need to select the text, and that will bring up the marquee line around the outside edge, and you've also got a number of options here. You've got the freely move option, there's a rotate option. I'll come back to this one in a moment. This is the object edit menu. Just look at this one here, which is the slider, and we can fade in or out the text using the translucency slider. These options are all about grouping and layers, which we're not really going to look at here, but we'll deal with those in another tutorial. This one is to duplicate the text, so if we click that one, we've got another version of the text. These ones are to do with making the text larger or smaller. Just have a look at those again. Okay, we can make the text larger or smaller. And then this one on the end here will bring back the text edit options that we had previously. So there are all sorts of things you can do there. One thing that we didn't look at was this one here. That one on the left, the colour on the left, is the colour that we're working in, the colour of the text itself, and the one next to it is to do with the background colour. If you want to select all of your text in a particular text box, if you go back into the edit text option, then this option here, which looks like the left justification icon, but it's got these sort of marquee lines around the outside edge, and that will select all of your text in one particular text box, and you can edit then all in one go. Now I just want to come back to this option here on the marquee options, which is the object edit menu. Now if we click on that, then you can spell check. Aren't any spelling mistakes in that particular text box. You can cut, copy, paste. There are other options here that we're not going to look at in this particular tutorial. but you can also extract text, and that will depend on what you've actually got selected. So for example, if we just look at that again, just highlight the word here. Another way of doing it is just to, with the word highlighted, just to drag out that particular word. You can drag out the word also. If we just highlight that, drag that out, and then you're extracting text from the text box. If you want to clear the text, well, various ways again that you can do this. You can just drag it into the waste paper basket. You can click on the text to highlight it and then click on the waste paper basket. Or text would be treated, or is treated rather, as an object. So if you click on the little spray bottle icon, the clear icon, and clear objects, then it will clear your text. But one thing to remember is that it will clear all the other objects on the page as well. I'll show you what I mean. So if I clear all of the objects, well, actually everything on that page was an object, so it would clear everything that we've got there. We could group everything together. Just go from the top left, hold down the left hand mouse button, or if you're working at the board, maintain a constant pressure with the pen, select everything together, and then just drag everything down into the waste paper basket. Now, a couple of other things then to look at with text. There's the handwriting recognition tools. Now, to work with handwriting recognition, that first of all will turn anything that you write using the pen at the board into text, and obviously make it much easier to read. To do that, you need to go to Tools and down to handwriting recognition, and that has to be the first thing that you do. You can't write something onto the board and then try and turn it into text. Now, it's difficult for me here because I'm not working at the board, I'm working at the computer with a mouse, so my writing will look pretty awful. But if I try and write a word like dog, for example, there we go, then after a moment it should turn it into text. And you may have noticed that the options that we've got here are the same as so that's red text in a font size of about size 26. Those will be the options of whatever text it was that we last used. Now, we've got a drop-down menu here. I'll just click on that. I might not have meant dog, I might have meant to write clog, for example, and we can change that pretty easily. Obviously, your handwriting's got to be reasonable for it to be able to recognise what you've written. It will cope with longer strings of text, but it certainly won't cope with technically specific words that wouldn't normally have been in a spell checker, for example. So there are some limitations to this, but it's certainly an option that's available to you. And if you want to edit the text, so you want to change it again, then we do that as we did before. We just select it, we go into the edit text option, and then we could change, say, from red to blue. That one didn't work because we didn't have the text highlighted, so highlight the text first, then click the colour option, change that to blue, and this time we should have a blue text. Now, the only other area that we need to look at here is the on-screen keyboard. Now, the on-screen keyboard, we'll just have a look at it briefly. If you go to Tools, this time go right down to the bottom to More Tools, and just pick up the on-screen keyboard. So if you're working at the board and you need to type something, you have got an option here. I think it's quite limited, but you just click on the buttons, keys that you want. Didn't pick up the first one, so you might just go back and add the letter C. We can move those around, obviously. clearly it actually would be much quicker to turn to your computer and type at the keyboard, but there is that option there. If you were working, maybe doing a search in Google, you might use the on-screen keyboard there, and we can have a look at that quickly if we just go to the desktop tools. So that will take us straight into Google, and if I type in, well, not type in, but hit the keys for dog, as we've already had cat, just enter that, then obviously we can have a look at all of the different entries that Google has got for dog. Well, and that's pretty much it really for text, so hopefully that will get you going.